Back to Sorare First Pitch. I'm Alex Hooper. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who's been tuning in. I've had some really cool conversations with some people in Discord and elsewhere, and I'm really enjoying talking about this stuff. I'm really excited for this platform. We need more users on the platform, get the prices, and kind of make these things valuable. It'll happen, but the excitement is very cool, and I guess let's keep it rolling. I don't know. But before we go any further, if you could like the video, subscribe to FSI if you haven't, follow me on Twitter at Lex Hooper, DM me on Discord, I think ahooper14, find me on Sorare, Tilt City FC. That's a lot to remember. Do one of those things, do none, I don't care, but if you could, that'd be cool. All right, so I've been just dealing with this market for the last couple of days, trying to actually put a team together, and I did. I have a limited team for the upcoming limited weekend, and I have a rare team and a little bit more coming up for next week. So I've been moneyballing my brains out the best I can, and what we're going to do here is, first of all, we're going to talk about something that a number of people have pointed out to me, and the more I look into it, the more true it is, and people seem to be catching on. So let's all find out together. Positional scarcity, value over replacement player at position. The ways you can manipulate some of these positions and some of the cards that are able to play positions where maybe they shouldn't, but also they shouldn't make sense. So I'm getting that into that in a second. I'm trying to talk way too much. I'm too excited. Yeah, so we're going to talk about positional scarcity, value over replacement. And then we are going to take a look at some of the galleries. We're going to take a look at my gallery. I'm going to show you kind of what my mindset was. And then we're going to look at a couple of suggested galleries to maybe, because we know these people have full teams, and we're just going to kind of see what they've been doing, and maybe we can all have one collective mind. All right, lordy, where to start? So the first thing I wanted to talk about is, you know what, I'm just going to get into the really juicy part now. I think I was gonna talk a little bit, and then I was gonna get into the juicy thing, but I don't want to do a tease here. So Spencer Strider has been the conversation in a lot of the, conversations that I listen to / read. Spencer Strider is eligible at relief pitcher. Now, Spencer Strider is a starting pitcher pretty consistently. Let's see, we're looking behind the curtain right now. Here's one of the people we're going to look at. We're just going to have to do this because I didn't prepare for it. Spencer Strider is a relief pitcher who is a starting pitcher. He's selling fantastically, and his price is staying up. There's a reason for that. It's because he's eligible at relief pitcher. So let's take a gander at his scores. So he's not going to pitch as much as a relief pitcher, but when he does, he's putting up 35, 38, 30, 40, 39, 24, 30. So that's a lot. And you have to, with a regular relief pitcher, you have to, one, hope they pitch at all, two, hope they pitch twice, three, hope their team is in a save or hold situation. There's a lot riding on this. So Spencer Strider, you're able to just know when he is going to pitch and plug him in. Also take note of his scores, 35, 38, like these are higher end scores. So if we go to Edwin Diaz, who's the highest projected reliever for the rest of the year, look at his scores, still selling well, but significantly less than Strider. Let's look at his scores. You're going to see more dots, and you're going to have to add the closest two. So 37, 36, 33, 41. And here's an added 4. So maybe this falls in the same window. Let's say it does. That's 37. So these are Strider-esque scores. If you put them together, you have to put them together. But let's go to a different reliever really quick. Someone who's not a starting pitcher or a high leverage guy. Eli Morgan for the Guardians. Let's look at his scores. Really erratic when he's going to pitch. Like, you don't know. Sometimes they're going to need him, sometimes they're not. Also, you add his two closest scores, 27. These look like they're close enough to have been within the same game week. So let's call that a 33. So the difference between Eli Morgan's high-end 33 week and Edwin Diaz's 37 high week and Strider's 40s like Strider is clearly the best relief pitcher out there. Now, actually, that I look at the discrepancy, I think like that's minuscule for Eli Morgan. I mean, that's nine euros. I don't know what that is in USD, $10. Like, it's not a lot to get Eli Morgan. His high weeks are still not far behind a guy that, you know, is going through 0.188. And then if you look at Strider, he's going for 0.577. So, I mean, I really should have been looking at these. Like, look at the high end here. 225 to 30s, 130 to 35, 335 to 40s, and a 40. So are any of these guys putting up 40 in a game week? No, in an appearance rather. But I mean, so 8 times they theoretically could have had one, or I mean, there's more ways to add that up. But so I hope I'm making sense a little bit. I actually, while I'm looking at it, I think Strider's actually pretty overpriced. Not relatively, he's not super overpriced. Like, he's very, very valuable. And like, we've talked a little bit on the show about guys who can just blow open a game week, and Strider could, as much as a relief pitcher can. And that actually takes me to my next point. Before I move on, I hope that makes sense. I mean, his upside is way higher, and you're going to get more value out of that position than other spots. Do I think you need to pay that much for him? I would actually just be happy paying for Diaz, and I think you can compete just as well. There's just so much less certainty in it, and Strider could have a bad game, but then you have a whole week of bad Spencer Strider if that happens. So I honestly think the difference between the points is negligible out of that position, and we'll talk about that in a second once I refresh because I'm yelling. All right, probably need me to pause because I think I just talked at 2,000 words a second for 5-8 minutes. All right, so that's that. The other 2 things I wanted to bring up, maybe we'll get into it at a different time. Corner infielders, I can actually show you. Here's my rest of season projections. And all right, so corner infield, let's mark some corner infielders. The 3rd highest scorer rest of season projected, or sorry, 2nd and 3rd and 1st. These are all corner infielders. You got a big drop off, Goldschmidt, Alonso, Machado, Devers, Abreu, drop, a little bit to Riley, drop. DHs are considered corner infielders, so I'm probably missing a ton. Like Shohei, I guess I think you can probably play at corner infield. Aaron Judge, you can play at corner infield because he has a DH tag. It's ridiculous. I think they should get rid of that, but it is what it is. So we're just going to deal with it. I think Schwarber's one of those guys. I don't know. Bregman, Hoskins. Okay, whatever. So I'm only showing you, you know, this is the top 28 guys. Like, if you come down to, let's just drop off a ton here. Fine. All right, Ryan Mountcastle, 405 points. Where's my guy I've been talking about a ton? He's probably up here. Oh, it's because I have things picked. All right, whatever. So Mountcastle, 405. Let's try this again. Christian Walker, 431 for the rest of this season. Christian Walker's last 3 days of rare sales are 0.056 ETH. And if you come up to Freddy Freeman, actually, let's look at Guerrero, because Freeman's price is actually pretty good. I think that's actually a really nice price for Freddy Freeman, because like 3rd highest projected scorer of the rest of the season, and he's like significantly lower than everyone but Acuna. Oh, you could have them together and have a Brave stack, except for Freddie Freeman's agent didn't call him. Yeah, so there's some value up here. I'm seeing that already. But my point was more that 0.662 compared to, where did I have Walker? Sorry, I'm leading you around a spreadsheet right now. 49th overall, 431. So the difference is 150 points over, I think I said 8 game weeks. That's a lot. But he's 10 times, Vladdy is 10 times the price. And you can find a lot of these values down here at corner infield, is more my point. Yeah, like 10 times, like you can find it's still requisite value. Like it's not the same thing. You're not getting Vladimir Guerrero. I'm not trying to say that, but like this happens more here, I think, with corner infielders. I think you're just going to see them peppered throughout here, and including the top guys. So it's like you pay up for that big production or you just pay down. And I think the same can be said with middle infield too. Like there's some elite guys at the top. Trey Turner, that's kind of it. For a while, you go down to Altuve here. That's a 73-point drop for double the price. Like I would rather have Altuve at that point. Like just give me the guy who is close, and I don't have to, like I can get better players elsewhere. All you need is raw points, and that's enough about that. Like you can find some of these things positionally, just figure out who plays where and like decide if the top guys are worth paying for. And otherwise find some value and find it elsewhere. The other thing I wanted to do was look at this last game week. All right, so here's my horrible team. My comments are awful, but let's look at the top of this list really quick. So this is going to be counter to my point a little bit, but if you notice the points scored here, Zach Gallen 41, Braxton Garrett 35. This is last week. This is the team that won. They got Notani limited. But obviously you're lifted up a little bit here by Aaron Judge. Look at that score, 91. Let's look at Zach Gallen's performance really quick. 41 points for 21 innings, 7 strikeouts, only 1 hit, and he got a win. That's a nice game. Can you imagine getting a 7 innings, 7 strikeout, 2 hit shutout? Like how many teams, it doesn't take much to win. Like you're so happy with that. So let's make it better. Let's add 2 innings. We're adding 6 more points for 2 innings pitched. So now we're at 47.1. We're taking away the hit. So now we have, geez, my math is bad already. About 50, we're at 50 now, right? 47, and then you add 2, so 49.1. All right. Let's add 3 strikeouts. So give me 6 more points. We're looking at what, 50, 56, 55? 55. All right. Sorry for the math. Sorry, you just had to endure me doing that math. You probably did it so much faster than me. All right. So 55. That's a perfect game, 10 strikeouts. It's 55. Okay. What I just turned his stats into is a perfect game with 10 strikeouts. Think about if you saw that we would talk about it for a week. We talk about it for 2 weeks. We talk about it for the rest of the time in baseball. Like those games rarely happen. That's happened like 4 or 5 times in the history of a game that plays 162 teams for 32 players over 104 years. Like that doesn't happen. 55 points. Okay. Let's look at Aaron Judge. 39 points in game 1. 39 points in game 1. So this performance is 15 points off of a 10 strikeout perfect game. 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 2 runs. So what was he, like 2 for 4 with a strikeout and 2 home runs? It's a 2-homer game. It's nice. Statistically very close to being requisite for a perfect game. So you go to his next one, 25. That's a 4-hit game with a stolen base. That's a pretty impressive game. But that's another 26. So already in 2 games, 2 like nice games, 2 Aaron Judge-ish games, we have now passed the perfect game by 10 points. But he's got another game. And in this game, he's going to hit a homer, hit a single. Again, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Pedestrian day for Aaron Judge. He in those 3 games of playing nice ball has outperformed a perfect game by 26 points. A 10 strikeout perfect game. So all of that to say, like pitchers cannot even create anything near what the batter can in a week. The amount of raw points you're thinking about between a Spencer Strider game week and an Eli Morgan week is like 4 points. Aaron Judge outdid a 10 strikeout perfect game by doing the math again. 36 points. Almost double. Like 175%. So what does that tell you? It tells me the starting pitcher market is incredibly bloated. It tells me that people are paying. Look at the points. Look at Jose Ramirez's points, Vlad points, Drew Ellis is -1 point. Look at these. Over 500. 13 players over 500. Let's look at the pitchers rest of the season. Garrett Cole, who just went for 300.32 Ethereum with 357 points, went for just a little bit less than Freddy Freeman, and his double is like almost double the points. Again, I'm using 75% as like whole numbers here, but do you see what I'm saying? And also these guys get to play every game week. Garrett Cole's going to play 1 game week out of 2. And he's going to like, let's go back to what happened last week. Let's look at the best players this week. Can we still do that? Games. No. Details. Team. Oh, you don't want to see my team. My team's booty. But I mean, Carson Kelly didn't even play this game and was 17 points away from a from a perfect game. He was a full Jordan Romano away from. He was my 3 position players combined away. Baseball's weird. None of these numbers that I'm throwing out make sense. I'm getting too excited about this. But all right, so I can't look at it, but Yu Darvish put up 49 points last week, and then there's like another one right below him. Stephen Kwan put up 52 because he hit his 2nd homer of the year. It's wild. The value discrepancy is huge. Now, don't get me wrong. Positional scarcity, like Garrett Cole's going to give you 40-point games way more often than Mike Minor is. And that's great. But Gator guy, Keith, our friend here at FSI, finished 23rd in common last week with a 1 out of his pitcher because he made it up with the rest of his hitters so easily. Christopher Morel had a nice weekend. And I think there were 24 players better than the best pitcher. Garrett Cole is the #1 pitcher available. He is the 90th highest scorer the rest of the season. 90th. You telling me you want to pay? Look, there's got to be weirder prices here. No, people are kind of getting it. People seem to be settling into the fact that they're not going to generate that much. So that's nice. They're not going for huge. I mean, McClanahan's still going for half an ETH. You want to pay half an ETH for 27.4, or sorry, 274 points the rest of the year? But who else is putting up 274 points? Jake Myers, Geraldo Perdomo, and Luis Gonzalez. We're going to put up the same amount of points as Shane McClanahan the rest of the year. You can get that for 0.003 ETH. A rare. So like, it's a big difference. Okay, that's a decent enough segue. I hope I'm making sense here. I didn't prepare for this one. You didn't get a PowerPoint on this one. I'm just kind of going rogue. I'm just throwing 8 million numbers at you, but here they are. Here's this week. Let's look at the top team from this week before we move on. Can we do that? Live, game weeks, my team. I don't care about my team. Oh, good. Gilbert's not even doing well. All right, who's at the top? The 2 pitchers. Yeah, see, so maybe I'm wrong. Like, game theory still applies here, and positional scarcity, like resource scarcity as a pitcher, still applies. But yeah, I mean, Jeimer Candelario broke the week. Luis Arias, he's a dog. Luis Arias pops on my metrics. So, all right. Let's look at my gallery, and I will show you kind of how that information I gave you has led me to build my team. Again, I'm not a shark. I got my gallery's worth about 4 Ethereum. Most of that is soccer. I think I spent 0.34 or something on this team. That's all I had. I had to sell some of my soccer players to get it. just because I wanted to have these teams and be ready for the rare week and just compete. So here are my awful commons. You don't need to see these. Horrible. I chose a pitcher and I got no hitters, and I've been in 20,000 both times. All right. So I bought Nick Gordon because the first thing I was going to do was buy a twin stack. You'll see that kind of manifest itself. No reason at all on these two. I woke up and wanted to bid on some auctions, so I did, and I won them. I paid more for this Kevin Gaussman than just about any rare I have. So if you bid early days, we were still waiting for that puppy to settle, and you got saddled with some losses, but I guess I got a limited team. All right, so twin stack, you kind of see that. Devin Williams, I talked a lot about early. Jan Gomes is a collectible. I have talked to him a couple of times when I covered the Guardians, and he's a very kind dude, and I saw this jersey man, and I jumped on it for very little money. That just makes me happy, and that's why I have it. NFTs with utility can still be collectible, even in your own little way. All right, and then my boy Christian Walker, who you'll see twice here as we move into the rares. So basically with this team, let's see, not a ton of rhyme or reason outside of the twin stack. These guys are good, these guys are valuable, some guys popped in my metrics, but mostly it was the twins guys and then a collectible. Like these are just two guys that I've been on. And then I've been talking about Christian Walker's value a ton. Speaking of value, these are all just dudes that I populated my gallery with because they popped on my metrics. They projected points divided by Ethereum last sale price, and I swooped in at about 5% above the last sale, said this is my sale point, we'll buy him here. Tommy Pham, I think he's in the top 20% of point scores projected down the stretch, plays in a what do they call high offense environment. I want to say Matchbox, but that's not what it is. Bandbox, I don't know, whatever they call Yankee Stadium. But Cincinnati produces a lot of runs, and Tommy Pham can hit. And he's going for 0.22. Like, I paid for all of my limiteds. Pretty much all my limiteds are less than Tommy Pham. So you can't see what I paid for Christian Walker. I believe it was like 0.05. Again, like semi big time Vladdy energy just for 10% of the price. That's what I'm playing with. Max Muncie, tremendous value in the middle infield. So let's see, if you look at Muncie. Yeah, dude, right here, 0.044. I think I paid 0.035 for him. He's the 20th? Yeah, 20th projected score. Now, Max Muncie has been struggling at the dish. He had a hand injury that he's been playing through. I don't think his stats are particularly good. Short time span here, 9 homers. Yeah, bad batting average as well as tanking. See, like these are not numbers that I like to see. What, first percent batting, but he was a bargain, and the projections like him. There's a good chance he doesn't hit, and I just stink. That's very much a thing, but he walks a lot. Generally, it's ball hard. Not this year though. He got that bad wrist, so he might not be good the rest of the year. But he's projected, you know, among middle infielders. Let's see, Bogarts, Altuve, Freeman. That's it. He's the 4th best projected for, I got him for 0.035. That's almost 20 times his teammate Trey Turner for a projected 90 points. 10 points a week is good. I would love to have it, but 10% of the price. That's what I'm playing with. Okay, back to me. Hoskins, another big deal. 0.067. I went above where I wanted, but he is another one who you might have seen him in there. It's very high. I went with some bargain bin pitching, man. Like, give me 38 points on a week and I got a shot. Like, I don't have to, the most I have to make up is like 17 points. And Aaron Judge did that by flicking his wrist. So I'm going to roll these dudes out here, and they projected well, and they're veterans, and they can craft their way through a nice ball game. That's fine. Max Kepler, very underrated. I don't know why. His metrics are very good. I think his stats are really good. And the Twins lineup pops, so I like it. Kyle Finnegan, cheap. He was cheap. He was toward the top end, and relief pitchers, I already kind of said, like, this was not my priority. So Nick Castiano, hitting the ball horribly. getting harassed by reporters, and oof. But he's projected well because he's got a history, and if he snaps out of it, he's going to be really, really good. And then Jeff Mcneil, again, he was just at the top of my list, and with the ETH I had left, needed another middle infield to have kind of two at each position, and hope that I can just play the rest in limited pro and try and win some cards that way. So, all right, let's look at some other galleries really quick. I noticed Greg making a lot of the same, not the same buys necessarily, but good buys. Sonny Gray, we agreed there. I love Framber Valdez. Obviously, you're going to see more here. Verlander is a fantastic. See, like Verlander is towards the top projected wise, but he's like significantly less expensive last I looked. Sorry, I keep opening the wrong one. Yeah, second highest score, 0.04. Like that's 0.02. Percentage wise, way less. Maybe he retires after the year, but for 0.06, probably hit that early, but that's fine. Solid pitching. I've seen a lot of people with Mike Clevenger. Fantastic if his arm works. A couple of Max Fried, Hunter Green, good young guy. Christian Javier projects incredibly well, very valuable. Luis Garcia, same thing. Rookie cards, Zach Plezak is one of my least favorite players on the planet, maybe ever. Shane Bieber, yeah, rocks. Okay, so yeah, it's hard to look at this one. It's hard to really break it down because there's just, when you get a gallery of this size, it's because you have the resources, and that's not taking away anything, but like there's no one strategy here. It's just get good players. But I see players who are high on value and not super over the top priced. And Greg is very smart. I mean, we both have the same pitcher. So I assume Lance Lynn and Sonny Gray were for a reason, probably because they were cheap and he could just grab them up. But, I anticipate that Greg is looking into things a little bit more than just that surface level. I know better because Greg's a smart dude. Okay. Moving on, Evan Diaz. Tugford's another one that we know has a full gallery. Mike Clevenger and Cutter Crawford. Cutter Crawford is good. He's got a good matchup coming up. He's also a rookie card, so that might be why it was purchased. 349 for Clevenger. It's hard to really look at these and say oh, they got a value there. Oh, they got a value there, because at the time they were purchased, it might have been a value, but not a lot of cards am I going to look at right now and be like, oh, that was a good buy, because Clevenger not even on my projections. Well, we need to fix that. I mean, yeah, you can still look at last sale price and see. I mean, things are probably still going to end up trending down because, again, we need more users to kind of prop things up and keep these things valuable. We can keep winning rewards and stuff, but we're only going to be able to trade amongst the people playing. So without demand, the ability to make money is less, and that's not the end all be all. Fun is definitely more important until you lose your ass. Which I don't believe we will. I believe in the platform quite a bit, but it just needs to catch fire. So saying, oh, I don't know about this purchase price, hard to say, because now you're rolling in rewards. And if we get the demand that we hope down the line, then you have more cards and have thus generated more money. Will Smith, very cheap. Again, don't really need them. You saw all the starting pitchers that Greg bought, and Tugford had two. Will Smith's just a cheapie, going to generate you some points, and that's all you need. No outfielders yet. A little bit of giant stack. Taylor Ward is a guy who is cheap relative to his production. Seiya Suzuki is an exciting young rookie. We got two rookies in a stack. Jock's been really good. Muncie. I talked to Tugford about how I don't like Eric Hosmer either. Joey Wendell, I'm sure he's a guy. He exists, probably valuable for that price, but again, I don't know. No middle infielders yet. A little more West Coast here. Tugford going pretty cheap, So he got a nice little Padres. Yeah, he's got a nice little West Coast stack. He's got Angels, he's got Giants, he's got Padres, and he's got rookies. Yeah. So I can see some of the things that he's doing. He's going for stacks. He's going for collectible rookies. He's going for guys who are performing very well relative to their value, and that's what you should be doing. I get the feeling that Tugford hasn't quite splashed yet. So, all right, great. Trippin' B, very smart dude, very active in the football side. Big Charlotte FC fan. Got to shout him out. All right, I'm running out of juice. Let's get through the end of this thing. All right. Again, I don't know on Clevenger. I mean, I don't think these prices are gonna. I don't think they're gonna resell for these prices. But yeah, these are some guys who are valuable at the time. Kenley Jansen, among relief pitchers, is way up there and way cheaper. Like I think a third of the price of Edwin Diaz. Two guys who play in limited roles. This is kind of a platoon situation. I think Slater hits righties and Jock hits lefties, but they both hit very well. Wilmer Flores had a hot start. It's an okay price. Tim Anderson's fantastic. Just a nice middle infielder. Flores can play middle infield though, for what it's worth. So there's value to be found for Trippin' there. All right, I'm running out of gas. Let's summarize this puppy. Yeah, so I think pitchers are undervalued. Your floor is going to be much higher if you have two good starters, but eventually in this game you're going to need the nuts lineup. You're going to need the best lineup. Like once we're talking, thousands and thousands of entries, you're going to need the best 9 guys to win. But in that time, your prize will sell for way more. So again, users, once we get that, that'll be great. So yeah, I think pitchers are a little more floor, but don't pay those premium prices for them right now. I really don't think it's worth it. The guys who have been in, like Zach Gallen, Chris Flexen, they just need to go out there and have a nice game. And your hitters just need to have 3 nice games. Like you don't need the perfect games and stuff because they don't necessarily score that much more. And not like that's going to happen a ton. But I'm interested to see the first person to throw a no-hitter. Like, are they in the winning lineup? My guess would be yes, but like there's so many. Like last week it was Aaron Judge, Christopher Morel, and Steve Kwan. Like 91, 56, and 61 or something like that. And here's like Stephen Kwan. Do you know who he is? If you're a baseball fan, like, do you know who Stephen Kwan is? I know he had a big first. He had like a super high average and no strikeouts through like the first month or something like that. So you got a little hype. He's right behind me. There he is, Stephen Kwan. Yeah, he blew up the week and like outscored a perfect game by 6 points. And so yeah, I wouldn't pay for the pitchers. I could be wrong. We just got to keep seeing who's winning these. But I think eventually, like down the line, you're going to have an optimal lineup, and that's going to be 6 hitters or 5 hitters rather. And yeah, I'm just moneyball it, man. Like if it's not hard to, like it's just simple, man. Like all I'm doing is dividing points by Ethereum and trying to maximize my raw points. That's my strategy. Like it's not. I'm showing you all these numbers and talking about these numbers, and I haven't even looked at some of the numbers I talked about in cheat codes. I don't look at xWOBA unless I'm making a decision between 2 players, or it's one of the last things I do before I commit to buying someone. And like the guys I bought have horrible xWOBA and xSlug and x batting average. So like, if they keep doing that, it's not going to go that well. But like all this game is finding the points where they happen, when they happen. I'm looking at rest of season projections, but unless these projected points realize themselves in the same week for a number of guys, then maybe I'll just be middling and like churning out tier 3 rewards for the whole season. We'll see how it goes, but like it's it's the hand I was dealt, and it's the cards that I played. And I was able, like, you saw me guys I had 0.3 Ethereum. It's not a little bit of money. I had it left over from DFS and from turning out profits. If you paid attention this long, and you're really interested and you listen to me ramble this whole time and you don't play the football side of Sorare, the number one way to generate Ethereum and money and value in Sorare MLB is to start a Sorare football team, buy 5 rares, play them in the all-star competition, hit the thresholds, which don't exist in MLB. All you have to do is basically get 5 starters who don't completely implode, and you get $50 a week in Ethereum. And for the prices, especially that these MLB cards are going to be at, like, I think that's honestly where your investment is. And if you want to figure out how to play the soccer side, there's a ton of, just go click FSI, whichever side it is, click that. Keith's done so many videos on how to build a team, cheap guys you can grab, and like then you'll start generating your money for your MLB team. And MLB, you just got to win. So so that's how you get more money, and that's how I got the money that I spent on it. But I got, like 24 cards, something like that. I'm gonna have 3 full teams until I'm gonna be able to play in every contest until super or rare pro opens, and I could play in that. I just won't have the boosts of the super rares. Yeah, like you can find it. Just maximize what you have and hope it happens when you need it. Hope all the points happen from your guys at the same time, and that's how you're gonna win. Otherwise, I just want raw points, and if I generate a bunch of raw points week after week, and I'm just grinding out, guys, I can just make money that way. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for the first limited game week coming up, and then I'm really excited for the first rare week coming out. Have 3 lineups other than my casual. That'd be cool as hell. All right, I'll do it. Thanks if you listen to me. I know I sound like I was on speed tonight, but I haven't talked in a while. I haven't said much in a while. I've just been working this market, and this stuff excites me. So ask a question in the comments. Follow me on Twitter. Head to the FSI Discord. It's free. You can have access to me whenever. I am not a holy grail, but I'll give you my projections. If you can come to me and just be like, I need this, I need the best at this position for this money, and I'll just be like, here's who I have rest of the season, here's who I have next year, and whatever. That's free. Just come see us on the FSI Discord or on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I don't care. I just want to help. I'm having fun helping. Hopefully, I have helped a couple of you. Shout out to Bob and AJ and I forget our guy. I'm gonna look it up because I just want to shout him out and thank him. First 2 dudes, you are Kofi in the FSI Discord, keeping it active and asking some questions and just talking shop. Shout out to those 3. I've had a lot of fun talking to y'all, and you've spurred me on and kept my brain churning, and I'm like very eternally thankful for that and for this whole thing. I'm having fun, and it's fun to do. So if you want to have fun, come chat with me. If you want to learn anything, whatever. But I've rambled on long enough, and I will get out of here. I got more great content coming up. We'll do some weekly reviews, some more account reviews, gallery reviews rather, and we'll go from there. But until then, see ya.